This is United Network News with Sunny Galt, Calen Gipp, Kimberly Gogan, and our field messengers from around the world. Here's today's real news. It's Friday, October 17th, 2025, and here are today's stories. Italy may be known for its charm, but what's happening beneath the surface could change daily lives for millions. A massive amount of clean water is being lost before it ever reaches homes, and experts say the fix could be simpler than you think. Pollution is threatening one of Europe's most beautiful natural landscapes. In Albania, once clear rivers are turning toxic, and the ripple effects could extend far beyond the country's borders. Deep below the surface, an underground world reveals how nature shapes the land and how people are working to protect it. Inside Missouri's fantastic caverns, history, geology, and conservation all come together in ways you may not expect. Thinking about getting an electric bike? They're convenient, fun, and eco-friendly, but are our roads ready for them? We take a closer look at how e-bikes are changing the way we move and the hidden risks riders should know. You trust sunscreen to protect your skin, but what if it's not doing the job? In Australia, several big-name brands were pulled from shelves after failing crucial SPF tests. We'll show you what went wrong and what to look for before you buy. Ancient wisdom meets modern medicine in Africa, where the African plum is being used to treat common ailments in surprising new ways. Could this natural remedy hold the key to better health? Italy may be famous for its stunning coastlines, rolling vineyards, and charming fountains, but beneath all that beauty, the country is facing a serious water crisis. The problem isn't just about droughts or hot summers, though those play a part. It's about something far more basic. Leaky, outdated infrastructure that's literally letting the country's most precious resource slip away. Much of Italy's water distribution network is decades old. Some pipes have been underground for more than half a century. According to Italy's National Institute of Statistics, or ISTAT, 42% of the nation's drinking water was lost last year due to leaks and inefficiencies. That's the highest level ever recorded. To put it in perspective, Italy wastes enough water every year to meet the needs of 43 million people. Imagine turning on the tap and knowing nearly half of that water never even reaches a home, business, or farm. It just disappears into the ground.
The water's shut off, things are fine, our floor kind of dries up, so we're like, okay, everything's good for now. They tell us the plumber's going to be there the next day to fix everything. They lied. We went without water for 4 days. It's 108 degrees here. So hot we can't shower, we can't use any water. Not only that, we flooded the store below us. It's a leather store, so everything's probably ruined. Everything's good now. We're just waiting on one more pipe to get fixed, and because it rusted and then just burst. It was like a total freak accident. It just could have happened at any moment. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's our plumbing journey in Italy.
Italy's leaky, outdated water system isn't just an environmental problem. It's costing households money. This wastefulness drives up costs for utilities and consumers alike. Even as Italians try to conserve, taking shorter showers, turning off taps while brushing their teeth, and skipping baths, they're still using far more water than they realize. About 236 liters per person per day, compared to the European average of 125 liters. Why? Because so much of it leaks away before it ever reaches their taps. In response, many Italians are boosting their own water storage, installing rooftop or underground tanks holding 5,000 to 15,000 liters. In areas where municipal water comes only every 12 to 13 days, households often rely on private deliveries costing 40 to 120 euros per fill. These systems have become essential as citizens adapt to a failing public water infrastructure.
Aging infrastructure and leaky pipes are making the situation worse. Much precious water is vanishing down the drain before it even reaches the taps. In fact, about 70% of water gets lost in transit in Latina. Marco Lombardi is CEO of the local water company, Acqua Latina. He says the blame cannot just be laid on the poor infrastructure.
The figure of 70% of water lost should actually be reduced to about 10 to 20% lost, as that is how much is lost because of administrative reasons. So the real physical water leakage figure is between 50 and 60%. I have to say that when someone sees this number, they must think that the company managing the water system is not doing anything about it. However, the truth is the opposite, in the sense that Acqua Latina does more than 10,000 repair interventions a year on a network of pipes that is 3,500 kilometers long.
But it's not all bad news. Across Italy, steps are being taken to tackle the water crisis head on. In northeastern Italy, water companies have joined forces to install smart meters and digital monitoring systems that can detect leaks and prevent waste before it happens, making the network far more efficient and reliable. And on a bigger scale, Italy is putting 4 billion euros in European recovery funds to work, investing in 25,000 kilometers, which is more than 15,000 miles, of new pipelines and upgraded infrastructure. The aim is ambitious, but clear. Cut water losses by 13% by 2026, while modernizing the system to handle future droughts, weather changes, and growing demand. Italy's water challenges show us even something as basic as water can't be taken for granted. But the story isn't just about problems, it's about solutions. With innovation, investment, and awareness, we can build a future where water is secure, sustainable, and valued by everyone. Albania, a country blessed with natural beauty and abundant waterways, is facing a growing challenge of river pollution. From industrial waste to poorly managed infrastructure, these issues threaten not only the environment, but also the livelihood of local communities. One significant example of Albania's efforts to protect its rivers is the Vjosa River, which in 2023 was declared Europe's first wild river national park, promising lasting protection. However, even with this protected status, the Vjosa faces increasing environmental threats driven by rapid development and industrial activity. Gravel is being excavated for construction projects, including a massive new airport near the river's mouth in wetlands. The airport, set to open next summer, will handle transatlantic flights. Plans are also underway for a mega resort along Albania's unspoiled coastline. Meanwhile, bitumen mining for road construction scatters waste along the riverbanks, and oil spills from leaky rigs and pipes pollute the Vjosa's waters.
It's the mud. It's thick, like tar. And it's about 10 centimeters here, and it's probably much more there. I don't dare to go there because I might not get out again. But what we see here today makes me really think. We're standing here right next to a tributary that runs into the Vjosa, and it's actually no more water, it's just crude oil. This is a disaster. Here's dead animals lying here. There is a snake tried to swim through this oil and died. I mean, I'm going to go in now to show you firsthand. It's the first time I'm a bit nervous to get in there. It's very sticky. It's very hot. I don't know if it really works. Let's see. I can get out of here again. I know what it is. It's not poisonous, nothing. And imagine how many more dead animals are in here. It is, for me, one of the worst things I've ever seen near a river. And I've been a lot next to rivers, or in rivers even, that this way of visible super pollution is still possible. That's also when I think, hey, what do people think who live here? I mean, how does the government not react immediately? Because this is not a completely new discovery. It was 7 years ago when we first time saw that there were oil floating on the Vjosa downstream from here. And there was a big article in the newspapers and said it comes from here, from the oil fields, upstream from here, about 1 kilometer. But nothing happened. It got even worse, I'm sure. Look at that.
Adding to these concerns, the International Union for Conservation of Nature, or IUCN, has released a report highlighting the environmental risks of the Himara water supply project. The project, which plans to divert water from the Shashuka River's source within Vjosa's National Park, is intended to support tourism on the Himara coast. According to the report, this water diversion would violate the IUCN standards for national parks, which the Albanian government has agreed to follow. It would cause irreversible damage by destroying critical habitats for endangered species, affecting water quality, and disrupting sediment transport. The report recommends the project be withdrawn to prevent biodiversity loss and protect the integrity of the Vjosa National Park, suggesting alternative water sources should be used instead.
So it's again the same thing we have faced so many times. There is a very substantial study being done with clear results. And it seemed nobody has ever read it. You know, they were just trying to inform us that everything is good. This is all good. There's enough water for everyone, even though the study proves there isn't enough.
The ones that will suffer the effects of this project, which are the communities, starting from Kuch village all along to the Shushitsa, they've never been consulted.
The Vjosa, Wild River National Parks, the Shushitsa and all other tributaries, they deserve to be protected, and they deserve that we stand up against economic interests and for ecological integrity.
The challenges of river pollution in Albania extend beyond the Vjosa. The Ishmay River, a short waterway flowing through populated areas, including the capital Tirana, is the country's most polluted. Industries and residents dump waste and untreated wastewater directly into it, causing severe pollution visible along its banks and into the Mediterranean. The root of the problem is the lack of proper waste management. Most waste gets illegally burned or dumped since municipalities don't have the funding for proper collection and sorting. Recycling is almost non-existent, and there are only a handful of facilities for safe waste disposal. Albania's river pollution crisis also affects its coastal waters, with the European Environment Agency ranking it last in Europe for sea quality. In 2024, only 16% of its bathing waters were rated excellent, while more than 22% were deemed poor. This is a direct consequence of untreated wastewater, polluted rivers, and solid waste flowing into the sea.
Missouri, known as the Cave State, is home to over 7,000 caves. UNN field messengers Sherry and Judy explore the iconic fantastic caverns.
Hi, this is Cherie
and this is Judy
at Fantastic Caverns in Springfield, Missouri.
And we're field messenger reporters for United Network News. Thank you.
Missouri, USA, also known as the Show Me State, has over 7,000 caves, which earn the title of the Cave State. This particular cave you see here is called the Fantastic Caverns, which offers year-round drive-through guided tours. Many of our caves in Missouri are beautiful works of nature and great for sightseeing. Limestone and dolomite are the most common carbonate rocks that form these solution caves. One of the largest caves is called Marvel Cave in a tourist town called Branson. It is one of the largest cave entry rooms in the U.S. Rumors are plentiful, including a deep entrance into mythical inner earth. All the caves have a temperature at approximately 60 degrees year-round. Some of these caves are utilized for businesses and are so massive you can drive huge trucks through them. They are also used for underground storage, which can be heated and cooled in a controlled environment, making it perfect for hydroponic gardens. Someone from our Missouri team is working on a project to enable us to grow food year-round. Exciting times. Thank you for joining us. This is Field Messenger Judy and Cherie for United Network News. God bless.
At New Earth Innovations, we search the planet for nature's most powerful healers. This took us all the way to the coast of New Zealand. Our Omega 369 Plus is made from the Perna green lip mussel, rich in omegas, chondroitin sulfate, and rare glycosaminoglycans. The Perna is one of nature's powerhouses. Support joint flexibility, easier breathing, better digestion, and a calmer, less inflamed body, naturally. Grown in clean New Zealand waters, backed by nature, sustainably sourced, trusted by thousands. Subscribe today and start feeling the difference.
Hi everyone, this is Leanne.
And I'm Jerry.
Coming to you from Tamworth, New South Wales.
Hi there, this is Rick from Arizona.
My name is Uchechukwu Obenebam from Igbo tribe, Nigeria.
Hi, this is Scott from Utah.
I'm Annette from Agassiz, British Columbia.
Hi, I'm Marcus Surzit from Manipur State, India.
Real people reporting real stories from all around the world. That's what United Network News is all about.
Can you clap?
We had a huge flood, which some call the flood of the century.
No fake news here. Our field messengers share personal experiences of what's really happening in their community.
We got some nice fish right here.
At UNN, you are the news.
My family and I had a very good time.
Take the next step. Become a UNN field messenger and share the real news with the world.
In the Northwest Province of South Africa, I am United Network News.
I am United Network News.
I am United Network News.
I am United Network News, and if it's going to be, it's up to me.
It's going to be, it's up to me. If it is going to be, it's up to me.
If it's going to be, it's up to me.
If it's going to be, it's up to us. Field Messages, United Network News. See you next time.
Electric pedal assist bikes make cycling easier, allowing riders to enjoy longer rides with less effort. UNN Field Messenger Amy enjoys the convenience, but busy streets without bike paths turn even short rides into a risk.
Hi, Field Messenger Amy reporting for UNN from Denville, New Jersey. And today I would like to talk to you about my electric bike. I love to ride my bicycle, but the roads around here are just getting more and more congested, and there's really no bike path to share the roads with the cars. So just a few things about my bicycle. It is pedal assist. Unless I pedal, it's not going to go anywhere. And because of that, I can take it on the roads without a permit. This is the battery. There's a key. It just simply comes in and out like this. And I have a mirror that I use so I can see what's encroaching behind me. It's fully adjustable. I have a light in case I'm out at night, which very rarely ever happens. And here, you turn it on here. And that makes the screen pop up. This is the battery life. And this is how much boost I get. Economy, Tour, Sport, Turbo, and Boost. So depending on the terrain and how much extra energy I need each one of my pedals to be boosted up, I'll put it there. So Boost would be for mountains, and Economy is just for flat land. Well, the first thing about riding my bicycle is safety. So some people say I have a hard head, but if it came between me and the cars, I'd rather have a helmet for a little extra protection. And I always like to wear a vibrant vest so that I can be seen. Now let me show you some of the roads and what it is I have to deal with. As I said, there are really no designated bicycle lanes to share the road. We have to ride on the shoulder that is marked off with a white line, and these lines can disappear into no man's land at various points. A lot of debris is in the shoulder area, making it difficult to navigate safely as well. Here's some broken glass. There's leaves, pebbles, sand, the drainage vents that are all over, garbage. Part of my trip to town means traveling this road that is limited on one side by a stone wall, and you can see leaves and debris filling up the shoulder here that is narrow enough. So it's very unsafe. And on this day, I had to go around this bush that was blocking the shoulder. You can see here that this area was just repaired, and it was done so in the last day or two. But for months, it was a hole here, and it had an orange cone in the ground letting you know that there was a hole. But there's various points where there's just potholes and everything else you have to be aware of. This sign is new. It is the only one like it I've seen. Yet you can see there is no bike path, and the sign is not enough to provide safety when sharing this roadway. Here's the grocery store I like to go to, but to get into town I have to travel further under these two overpasses and two separate entrances to major roadways. There is not enough room for both bicycles and cars, and bicycles are not allowed on sidewalks, and this sidewalk has a garbage bag on it anyway. Here's a view of the town. With all the parking spots, there is no place to safely ride your bicycle. My hope is that restoration will repair roadways and create a space where bicycles and cars can share the roadway safely. Well, I hope you enjoyed this report. Thank you for watching. See you next time.
Australia classifies sunscreen as a therapeutic good, subjecting it to some of the world's strictest regulations. However, earlier in June, an independent analysis showed several popular and pricey sunscreens in Australia failed to provide the protection they claimed, sparking public concern. Customers reacted strongly, products were pulled from shelves, and a probe was launched into the regulation of sunscreen. An investigation by the Australian Broadcasting Corporation found two key issues. First, a single U.S. lab, Princeton Consumer Research Corp., which consistently recorded high SPF results, had certified at least half of the sunscreens failed independent testing. Second, several of the recalled sunscreens shared a similar base formula and were linked to one manufacturer, Wild Child Laboratories. Experts say effective sunscreens are difficult to create and test, and some testing results can even be manipulated. Many global sunscreen brands rely on the same manufacturers and labs, so this issue may not be limited to Australia.
The faulty sunscreen saga continues. This week, the TGA has revealed more sunscreens that have been recalled after failing to meet the SPF levels promised on their labels. Now, it all started back in June with a report from Choice, which found several popular sunscreens didn't actually meet their advertised SPF ratings. The worst of them was Ultraviolet's Lean Screen, with a tested SPF rating of as low as 4. And then after failing its own testing, it pulled the product from production. Now, this has led to the testing of other products that use the same formula as Lean Screen. The TGA has revealed that those products were unlikely to have an SPF of greater than 21. There's now been a total of 20 products that have been pulled off shelves since the initial Choice report. As for the manufacturer that was producing the base formula, it's now stopped making and supplying it altogether. The TGA says its investigation into sunscreens is ongoing, and in the meantime, it's published a list of products that consumers should avoid, including ones by Emco Beauty and Naked Sundays.
Concerns about sunscreen effectiveness are widespread. In 2022, the Environmental Working Group found nearly 75% of sunscreens either don't work well or contain harmful ingredients that easily absorb into the body. Many also fail to deliver the protection implied by their SPF levels. Research shows U.S. sunscreens allow 3 times more UVA rays to pass through skin compared to European sunscreens, largely because Europe sets much stricter UVA standards. In fact, most sunscreens sold in the U.S. wouldn't meet European regulations. Only 35% of tested U.S. products meet EU standards, while 94% met the less rigorous U.S. standard. Beyond the issue of effectiveness, there's also the question of how sunscreen affects our bodies. We know the sun is our primary source of vitamin D, and a recent study published in the British Journal of Dermatology found people who used SPF 50 and above sunscreen daily for about a year were more likely to be vitamin D deficient than those who used it less frequently. This adds another layer to consider when thinking about sun protection.
If you live in Australia, I want you to get your vitamin D tested. I feel like in Australia there is so much information around about how you need to be so sun safe, that you need to be wearing sunscreen the second you step outside, that everybody's getting vitamin D deficient. Now, the issue with that is vitamin D is actually considered a hormone. It's not just a supplement. It is something that is extremely crucial in your body. It's important for your immune system. It's also really important for your bones, which especially as women is really important as we age. Plus, like, everyone was sick. Everybody was sick this winter, right? And I honestly, truly believe it is a lot due to the fact that everybody that I am seeing in my clinic, as someone that is a naturopath, is low in vitamin D. I feel like we need to have a bit of a moderation talk when it comes to the sun. Yes, okay, protect your face, definitely, right? Anti-aging point of view, but we need to start getting some safe sun exposure, because the only way you will get vitamin D, apart from supplementing, is from the sun. So there's a really good app you can get called D Minder. It's like D and then Minder. That app is really good at letting you know where you're located, what the UV is like, and how long you can safely be outside the sun before you kind of get harmful effects. But if you try and get some sun exposure from, say, 10 or 11 in the morning, right? So before the sun has kind of hit its peak, bare skin. You will not get the sun penetrating through your clothes. Bare skin and the sun. Shorts, short sleeves. I want you to start getting some sun.
Given the issues with commercial products, some people are turning to alternatives. Making your own sunscreen at home is one way to use natural ingredients, skip harsh chemicals, and customize the SPF. Many homemade recipes use ingredients like zinc oxide for UV protection, coconut oil, shea butter, and beeswax for hydration. Essential oils like carrot seed and raspberry seed oil are also popular additions for their antioxidant properties and potential SPF boost. There are plenty of easy-to-follow guides online if you wish to explore a recipe that works for you. Ultimately, whether you buy or make your own, true sun safety goes beyond just slathering on cream. Experts recommend pairing sunscreen with protective clothing and seeking shade during peak sun hours. Understanding these facts helps you make smarter choices for safer sun protection. Remember, smart sun care means more than just sunscreen.
Nature offers a wealth of healing plants, including the African plum. UNN Field Messenger Mohammed explains how this remarkable plant can help treat various ailments.
Hello, citizens of planet Earth. My name is Mohammed Ngobong, a field messenger for United News Network, coming to you from Cameroon in Africa. I wanted to let you know about this plant, which is used locally here to treat something called BPH, benign prostate hyperplasia. The stems of this plant are sliced into pieces and then mixed with the hair which comes out of maize, looks like hair, mixed with garlic, and then with onions, oil,
and then taken as a concoction, where to relieve from those symptoms. It is also sometimes treated by using the seeds of the plum tree. The plum fruit is called, I think the scientific name is Prunea africana. So you see, this is a good reason to understand that the forest is very important. We will stop damaging and destroying the forests. But very soon, all these medicines, which are actually the basis for all the pharmaceutical products, will no longer exist. This is called locally the sugarcane drinks. That's what it translates to the traditional language. Well, thank you very much. That's all for today. See you next time.
Are you ready to change the world? Take the next step and join our weekly Field Messenger meetings. Learn more at unitednetwork.earth. I am United Network News, and so are you.